had a strong connection with animals. It would not matter the size or kind. I felt as if animals were the most amazing creation made. When I was growing up, I've had numerous pets, mostly dogs. Whenever a holiday came up, I would always want another. I guess people can say I was obsessed with animals. I would always take very good care of them, and I would treat them as if they were family to me, which is why I never got the fact why people mistreat them. Animals are meant to be loved, not abused. Every 10 seconds, an animal is being abused in this country. It's crazy to think people can burn, stab, drag, or even kill an animal for enjoyment. It was told that a major sport called dogfighting was introduced in 43 AD when the Romans invaded Britain, leading to a worldwide game. Now, I will share 3 points to why animal abuse is shameful and how we can all come to make a change. Point 1, how I got introduced to animal abuse. Point 2, my point of view on this horrible so-called sport. And point 3, example and ways on how to prevent it. Now, let us go back to point 1. How I got introduced to animal abuse. Homeless animals. When I was younger, I thought animal abuse only meant physical. Physical animal abuse is when someone uses a strength to harm the animal. Examples of this abuse are hitting, burning, cutting, or maybe even killing the animal. But when I saw the animal starving with their ribs showing, I knew animal abuse wasn't just physical, but unintentional care. Unintentional animal abuse is when someone doesn't know they're hurting their animal. Examples of this abuse are forgetting to feed the animal or leaving an animal in a car on a hot day. Most of these abuses end badly, some in death. Point 2 of my discussion is my point of view on this horrible so-called sport. Now, animal abuse, in my opinion, is horrible. Animals are supposed to be loved. They're supposed to feel happy whenever they see their owner, I mean. They're supposed to feel secure, safe. They're not supposed to be afraid, not supposed to be cautious or scared to go by you. Almost every day, I see on the news or I come upon a news article where it says animals are being stabbed, beaten, or maybe even burned to death. In my opinion, animals are supposed to be treated as family. For example, if you own an animal, you should treat them as your child. You should feed them, water them, and love them unconditionally. Point 3 of this discussion is examples and ways on how to prevent. Now, let me start out asking a question. How many animals a year die due to animal cruelty? Now, it may surprise you, but approximately 1,654,545,000,000 animals die to animal cruelty. These numbers are just way too high, and together we can make a change. About 3 and 4 million dogs and cats are euthanized each year in the United States simply because too many people give up their animals or too few adopt from shelters. Because of the limited amount of storage each animal shelter provides, staff members have to make a decision on which animals to euthanize every day. Now, if you look at the image on the left side of me, this is an actual picture of an animal shelter in Kern County, and it states how animals are storage in cold barrels after being euthanized. This animal shelter euthanizes about 25,000 animals each year. I know y'all may be wondering how we can prevent this from happening. Now, if you adopt from a humane animal society or a rescue group, you can not only save the lives of only one animal, but 2. The animal you adopt and an animal that can now be rescued because of the space you helped freed up. Now if we make a world change, we can all come together and help each and every life. As Anne Sewell once said, we call them dumb animals, and so they are, for they cannot tell us how they feel. But they do not suffer less because they have no words.